In a world where nuclear war has begun, vampires fought back in super real 3D.
Hey guys, Ash on Chamier, Rough Cut Productions, Tallahassee, Florida. Welcome back to another tidbit of information I want to throw at you, and this is really valuable stuff. It's about my philosophy on how to get clients, and I want to start out of the gate by saying how I see most video businesses fail. One of the reasons that I see the most consistently for that is that a lot of times people jump into it and they just want that to be their sole source of income. So like maybe they have a job, maybe they do a wedding or they do one other gig, they get paid something decent, they realize or think they can make more money doing that than working their current job that they don't like. So they're like, you know what, I'm gonna go for it, I'm gonna go all in, I'm gonna do this, and then they do it. And I did not do that, and I personally don't know anybody that did do that that was successful. And I'm not saying it doesn't exist, I'm just saying how rare it is. And there's been a lot of people I've seen start and then it doesn't work out and they have to go back to normal jobs. And the reason that you want to have a second job is not just as a safety net for security while you're building up your client base, but there's something else to it. And this is really big, and I don't really hear people talk about this. If you have a primary source of income that's a normal job, and then you get a video gig, what you have the opportunity to now do is work past what you are paid for. So you can work for free. I know that sounds silly at first, but hear me out for a second. I always work past what I'm paid for. I've done it from the beginning, and I continue to do it even when I'm getting paid well. And I can afford to do it now, but I couldn't have afforded to do it when I first started unless I had another source of income. And by working past what you're paid for, what you're really doing is you're building the best portfolio piece that you can. You're becoming the best editor that you can. You're becoming the best shooter that you can, because maybe you need to go film another day to go get that other thing that's going to make this video just sing. That gives it the potential to go viral. That gives it the potential to just be the best portfolio piece that you have. And you should view every video that you do as an opportunity to make the best portfolio piece that you have for that category of video. So music video or branding or wedding film or documentary. But if you don't have another source of income and you're relying on video as your only source of income and you're just starting out, you don't know how to budget your time. And you don't have that wiggle room to expand an extra week of doing some awesome thing in the editing room that you finally realize, like, oh, this will make it amazing. You don't have that. You can't. You got to pay your bills. And when you're first starting, let's just be realistic. Everybody does it for a cheaper price because they're trying to get their feet wet. They're trying to get their portfolio going. And if you're doing it for that lower price, you have more leverage for that timeline to take a little bit longer. The deadline's not as stiff because you're cutting a tremendous deal with this new business or this band or whatever. You're cutting them a deal. So take advantage of that and tell them that you're doing it because you want to make it that much better. Tell them that you're working past what you were paid for. And when you do that, you have a better portfolio piece. You learned how to edit and shoot better. There's so many things that happen in the course of every project that evolves you as a filmmaker. So you should look at it as an opportunity to do that. Don't just take the project, you got paid for it, that's gonna cover you for 1 week, you get to work on it for 1 week, I'll stay up late a couple of nights. No, like if you have a way to make it even better, just do it. Just do it. Make it as good as you possibly can, and don't compare yourself to locals. Compare yourself to the entire national market because that is who you are competing against at this point. Think about it. Everything is worldwide. Everything that goes on the web is worldwide now, so you need to be trying to elevate your game to compete with people that are all across the world, not just the guy in your small town. The name of the game, guys, for getting clients is to be proactive. Just, you have to be proactive. You should be active on social media daily, and you will get gigs that way. But I'm saying research your geographical location. Find things that are cool. Find a business that's starting up. Keep your ear to the ground about what business is starting up that has something unique going on. It's like, that's a cool concept. Like, oh, that's such a cool concept. They kind of need a video to explain that. Oh man, like I'm going to approach that company and I'm going to pitch them that they need a video, and I have this idea on how we could do it because I think what they're doing is so innovative and new and it needs to be explained. Be excited about it. Be passionate about it. These things are important because any potential client that you approach, don't just offer a video service, pitch them an idea. Don't be guarded. Give them the idea because they weren't necessarily thinking about making a video right now. You have to sell them on this thing that gets them so excited, like, yeah, how could I not have that? That's the thing that ties everything together, because that's what a video can do for branding and products and artistry with bands and all that stuff. So find stuff that's cool. One of the coolest ones that really got me started, that gave me some acclaim, was Trans Am Depot. They're now called Trans Am worldwide because since we started, they've grown into a facility that's like 3 or 4 times the size of what they did have. It's like a 35,000 square foot facility. They sell cars that go for anywhere from $115,000 to $200,000+, and they sell them around the world. I got to film Burt Reynolds for a Signature Series Bandit Edition, 77 limited edition, all signed by Burt Reynolds, and all of them sold out after the video came out, right? I got that opportunity only because I messaged them. I literally emailed them and got rejected. It was so disappointing. I was like, man, I was getting so used to being rejected because that's what you have to do. You have to message so many companies and just know that you're not going to get responses from most of them. You're not going to get to do most of these, but all you need is 1 or 2. And after I got rejected, it turned out it was just the person at the front counter. And the owner, Todd Warmack, came across my email, luckily, saw my passion pitch, and contacted me that day and said that he would be interested in talking to me about a video. I go out there and I was working with way lesser gear than what I've got now. I had a Panasonic AG AC130. Been a while since I used that guy. Which is like, that's not even a cinema camera, it's got a fixed lens on it. And I had a Canon T3i. And I had 2 lenses. I had a 30 millimeter. Guys, I might have only had a 30 millimeter, a Sigma 30 millimeter 1.4 on a Canon T3i. You know how much I charged? $350. That's how much I charged for the first Trans Am video that I made. I was nervous about it, but I went for it, did it, made it. The $350, you know where that went? Went right into buying a GoPro so I could put a GoPro on the car for that shoot. Yeah, I kept the GoPro, but I just did the whole thing for free, and I used the money that I got just on more equipment because I needed those kind of shots, right? They were so happy with what I turned in. The next gig that I got was a mini documentary, like a 17-minute documentary that I made for them, and I went from making $350 to $3,500, right? That in just one project span. And since then, it's just gone up and up. So these things build up over years, and they've been a client of mine for years now, and that's just one client example. The thing is, when I did that for free, because I had another source of income during that time, I was doing window cleaning and I was doing stagehand work. So I had 2 other jobs, and I was in a band actively trying to perform, and we were not making any money. I was just pursuing that to the best of my ability. And on top of that, I think my son was like 3 years old, maybe 4. He was 5 at the oldest. I think he was 3 or 4 years old at the time. So I had a kid, and there was so much going on, and I just threw myself into that edit and did the best I could do for that time in my life, for that point in my editing, filming career, and with the gear that I had. All right? But it pays off, and that gig was substantial enough that it legitimized me to other businesses, so I started getting other clientele happening too. So it's really important to just start sending out messages, personally message companies that have something cool going on, personally message bands that you're interested in. I've instigated a lot of music videos that I've done just by personally reaching out, and some come to me and I reach out to others because I want my portfolio to be big and dynamic. And I want to have different types of music videos. So you have to create the portfolio that you want. You have a lot more power than you realize in making your portfolio become what you'd like it to be. if you have all hands on deck like me, where I even help with the marketing strategy and the storyboarding and all that, I evolved into that. I realized that these are all roles that I have to have. And in having that ability to level with my clients on the marketing end, they trust me all the more in their videos. So that leads to another point, which is that if you're trying to get into branding, you have to understand you need to be able to do more than just make pretty images. You've really got to start analyzing advertisements, and you got to start analyzing people and psychology. This is what I recommend, because you want to be able to identify with people and get on the wavelength of the demographic that a company is after. You need to be able to shapeshift like a chameleon, like understand not what you're after, but what would that clientele like, and then figure out a way to put your stamp on that approach. And then you have something unique, and then you're still invested in it, and you still see yourself all through that video, even though it's for something potentially that isn't for you or something that you would directly be interested in. You can get those kind of gigs and shape them into something where you get excited about it. Every single project that you get is your portfolio. So don't shortchange that project by them only having this much money to pay for this. If you have a way to make it better and you can afford to take the time to do it, even though it hurts and you're coming out of it not making much money, just do it. Grow as a filmmaker. Make a great portfolio piece, and that's what will enable you to have more leverage to charge higher rates with other clients and get clients to actually listen to what you're saying. If you have a passion pitch for them specifically, that's not just a generic email where you're replacing a word here and a title there. Don't do that. Message them personally, send a passion pitch, and then if you have a portfolio attached to that, and they're at all interested in making a video, you're going to get that opportunity to talk to them. And if you get that opportunity to talk to them and you can communicate well, you'll get the gig. If you've only done one great piece and two mediocre pieces, just put the one great piece. Even if it's not relevant to the company that you're approaching, you'll have a better chance with that one piece that's dynamite than additionally throwing in a couple of pieces that show you falling short slightly. You need to try and put your best foot forward in your portfolio at all times. If you're doing everything, if you're coming up with the idea for the video, you're filming it, you're directing it, you're editing it, you're lighting it, if you're doing all that stuff, the biggest thing that you're doing is you're trying to communicate something. Like you're trying to be the best communicator that you can be. So that can't fall short when you're talking and communicating with your clients. You are a storyteller, right? That's your whole bag. This whole video thing is all about being a storyteller. You need to be able to be a storyteller to your client about what your vision is. And if you can't do that, then how is it going to translate to the camera? Communication's huge. And every time you have a client interaction, every time you get a new type of client and a new product, this is an opportunity for you to grow as a person, as somebody that's seasoned in life experience. And every project experience that you have gives you a wisdom that you carry into your other projects, regardless of the category. It all connects. That's the whole reason you guys are interested in this, is because we know that cinematography, working with cameras, you are trying to capture and encapsulate life. Like you see something amazing, you want to figure out some way to portray how you felt when you experienced it, and you want to put that back into the camera and get it back out to the world in your edit. This is meaningful stuff. This is why you guys are interested in this. When somebody throws you a wrench, when a client's a little bit challenging, just take that as okay, great, a workout is ahead of me, and I'm going to come out of this stronger in my communication skills. I'm going to have a thicker skin. These things are important to have because you are an artist putting yourself on the line for judgment. It's not like making a painting and hopefully somebody buys it. Somebody's paying you for a direct artistic service, and it's got to get certain points across, but they also want it to be something powerful that's unique. That's why they hired you specifically to do it, for your unique stamp. And you're throwing yourself on the line for that. So in summary, let me just go over what we just talked about. One, you got to be proactive. You really got to go out there, find clients that interest you. You can look online, research what companies are budding, figure out businesses that don't have videos yet, find things that interest you. Don't just message randomly. And when you do message a company for a pitch, make it custom. Like, don't have a generic email or a generic message and just replace the name of the business with it. Like, actually directly passion pitch them some idea. And in doing this, you're going to get better and more efficient at coming up with ideas faster. And the more you can do that, the better filmmaker you're going to be, period. Being able to come up with ideas is everything, because more and more people can create pretty images. You have to be innovative in your concepts. That's what's going to set you apart more than just the images. Images are great. I love talking about trying to make great images, and we'll get into that. But it's really ideas that reign king when it comes to establishing yourself as like an invaluable asset. Of course, you really want to have a video to present to them, so you need some kind of portfolio to get things started. Whatever your best stuff is, show that. And like, if this piece is awesome, high quality, and then you're going to show something that's a little bit weaker over here, it just shows that you're not consistent. And so it's like you may have gotten lucky on that one shoot. That's the way the client will potentially perceive it. Put your best foot forward by only showing your videos that you know are the best you can do. You have to be able to put in more work on the projects than what you're getting paid to do, because you can't charge enough at first, and you don't know what to charge because you don't have like an editing pipeline down yet, so you can't guess accurately how long it takes to do things. And if you put video as your only source of income, in all cases that I've seen by other people in person, it usually ends up failing. They have to revert back to their normal jobs because you're not giving yourself the flexibility to put in the extra time to grow as a filmmaker, to grow as an artist, to make that piece become good enough to be this new frontier in your portfolio. So have video be your second source of income initially. Once you hit to about half of your income coming in through video only, then I'd say that's a much, much safer opportunity to go ahead and go all in. Like, all right, well, half of my income for this last half a year has been just from video. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the side job and go full force into video, and you've got a much better chance. I really, really suggest that. It's not just to be safe, it's so you can become better at your craft. If you're gonna shortchange your growth, if you put yourself in a situation where you can't financially afford to spend any extra time on a project past what it was paid for. And you're not charging that much initially anyway, so you're just gonna have to do these projects super fast. You're just gonna be kicking out work and getting paid for it at low amounts, and you just can't stick with that. And if you do, you're not going to be happy. So that's a huge recommendation. And then the last thing I just want to rekindle here, if you cannot communicate to your clients your idea and sell them on it, then they're not going to trust that you can make a video that's going to do it for them. So that's it, guys. Just be proactive, build up your portfolio slowly, put yourself in a situation so you can afford to take more time on each project than you're actually getting paid for, so you can make it as good as you can. Give your client an actual fun, great experience. You know, they want to work with you again because they get to work with you again, not just because of the product that you make. And in doing that, you're just going to have a great time. It's not about putting up a fake facade or anything. It's about just like recognize how awesome it is that you're getting to do what you're doing. Sky's the limit, guys. Sky is the absolute limit. I go and see movies and my jaw just drops in awe at how much you can do with a camera. It just is absolutely inspiring, and I hope you guys get that opportunity to make this be your source of income, and it really can work out that way, but there's no getting around it. It's a lot of work, and you're not going to be able to do it unless you're truly passionate about doing this. So the only way that's going to happen is if you're getting the kind of clients and projects that you want to be working on. Don't typecast yourself into just one niche. You're going to get burnt out on it. I mean, companies do that, but man, it's like, if you're just trying to make money, it works, but if you're trying to be fulfilled as an artist, it does not. But don't sell yourself short on completely doing things for free longer than you have to. You can charge a little bit of money, go make something personal. You know, one of the videos I made that got me sold on the Trans Am opportunity was me filming something called My Backyard, and it was just like it was just a video of stuff. I mean, I had a cool backyard. I lived next to a sinkhole out here in Florida, and it was beautiful. But that's all I had. I had like this nature thing, you know, and then I'd filmed some chandeliers for products, you know, not exactly a sports car. And I'd filmed a couple of music videos for Tobacco Road, and you know, but they were fine, but they're nowhere at the quality level that we're at now. So you just never know how one thing's going to lead to the next, which is why you got to treat every single project as an opportunity to have the best possible portfolio piece that you have. So I leave you guys with that. If you dug that information, I would greatly appreciate you subscribing, hit the notification bell. You'll know when a new episode is out. I'm putting these out at least every Thursday, and sometimes there'll be a second one in the week. So you'll have at least a weekly episode, and I look forward to sharing tons more information. There's so much more to go over. I have a very hard time staying focused on one topic. Sorry if I'm running in tangents, but it really is that thing where one thing links to the next thing, links to the next thing. And because I'm, you know, doing all the different parts of the production, it's just like I want to start talking about the editing, and then I want to start talking about the storyboard, and I want to start talking about, there's just too much to talk about and share. So I look forward to telling you guys this and explaining it and giving you guys a real head start on stuff that took me a very long time to have to go through the process of trial and error and learning lessons, sometimes the hard way. So anyway, take care, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.
Movie Voice.